You got it?
I got it.
What's good, everybody? Sammy Valentino here. Back with another Swordsoul profile, post Legacy Destruction. Shout out to Duelingar, Main Face, Tinfold, and the Card Haven. Shout out to Team Inspire. Shout out to everybody out there doing their thing. Shout out to Camden Man Neil. You're insane, bro, but you're still free. Anyways, so let's get right into the profile. So, obviously standard, 3 Long Young, 2 Moye, 2 Taye. I don't know. I really wouldn't play anything different. Maybe 1 more Moye, but honestly, it seems super consistent for me, so I think that's fine right there. Then 3 Ecclesia, card's insane. Worms, kind of pretty much still the same, 3, 2, 2, and then the 1. I think this is just fine. I don't really want to max out on these anymore. I kind of just don't want to see it too much because I can just... This is kind of just like my nib checker from now on. You know, with Baron Ban, the deck kind of just needs like a way to just kind of make sure your opponent doesn't really have nib, and this kind of forces your opponent to either nib you when you have Boxia and Adara, and if they don't, then I mean you're kind of just playing for free from there. And then this is still the best, just one Shatana best attribute besides the other ones. The big boy's back, Protoss. Card's insane. I mean, I've been Protosing every one I've been playing against. This card is just cracked. Sometimes, like, I would purposely, like, play into Nib now, just to kind of see what my opponent has, and, like, I'll use Shishao for follow-up, and then what I'll do is, like, I will, like, see if my opponent has the Nib after something Long Young, and then if they do, it doesn't matter, because at that point, I already have 3 attributes engraved, and this card just says, okay, like, that's fine, you stop me on my turn, but now you can't play. So, Konami, you're insane. When I win my YCS at Indy, or if I win Nats, I'll give you guys a good shout out. But yeah, so hand traps, 3 nib. I might cut this down. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But like right now, it's not that it conflicts, but it kind of just like is able to, you know, put different attributes in the grave if I don't have it at that point, or just a way if I get stopped, my opponent, I just know they can't play. 3 effect Veilers. Card's good. Veilers. Card's good. I mean, I like it kind of just, you know, same. Ash, standard, and then 2 Bell. I was going to do 3 Bell, but I think like 2 is just fine. Same thing with like Ash. I feel like 3 is like good. I feel like these, you kind of want to see these more than you want to see this. This is more of just like Labyrinth, and then for fire decks as well, because fire decks are still obviously very viable, and then Kashtira with the birth. So Bell is just a really good hand trap. Spells, 3 emergence. So basically 3 extra Protoss. If you have it correctly or play correctly, you just pretty much have 4 Protoss in your deck. 3 talents, as well as 2 heavenly, and then 1 called by. So the heavenly's here more obviously to extend your plays. But it's very, very good now because of Protoss. So that way when you activate it, they go to impermit, and then you just Heavenly Dragon circle your Protoss. And obviously, just like any Swordsoul card, it just dodges it, and the effect will still go off. I was going to play 3 Pot of Desires. That's what I'm playing on DB, but I've just been testing different things within locals and DB. So for today, I just ran that. And then as far as traps, 3 imperms, and then 1 blackout. So that's it for that. So time for this extra deck. Kind of just stayed the same. 2 monk, 1 shaman. I might run a 3rd monk, but I don't know yet. It kind of really hasn't come up. That was disgusting. Kind of really hasn't come up. But for now, I mean, this is just fine. Yazi, 3 Boxia. This card's very, very, very good, especially in this format, because it's not once per turn. If you do end up getting nib, you can still have lines where you bring this card out, and then if you're playing against like Voice's Voice or any deck that runs light, and you can't get the Protoss, you can still make Chow Fang, and then Chow Fang allows you to, you know, obviously special summon the card if the card's destroyed by battle or a card effect, and then you can just add a tuner to hand, so you have follow up for next turn, or if you just want to stop them, you can stop them. 2 Shi, wouldn't change it. Since Baron got banned, it's obviously been a little harder, so instead of having like a complete Omni Negate, I just put add Emancipator. some Vanadium, some Kashtira that if they don't have Shifter, fire decks, a lot of decks that are very reoccurring from the grave. So if you can like get your Protos to come out, or if you don't have to really worry about Protos and you still have 3 attributes on board, you can just summon the Ruddy Rose, banish both graveyards, and then there's still lines. Obviously, I'll go over that like later on in another profile where you can summon this, still get a Long Young out with a token, and then make the other level 10, make your Chenging, and then you basically have like 20, 25, 30 cards banished depending on how far in the game you are, and it's pretty much just an O2K. But besides this, the only other level 10 I would run is the Ice Jade Ymir. That card is very, very, very good, especially against the fire deck, because if I can start a line where I just do Long Young first, summon the Ice Jade Ymir, it gets special summoned, then I don't have to worry about my cards getting popped and or banished within the fire deck, because it's a quick effect. If I respond to a card effect, something that's on the field, that card gets banished, and then any card at that point after that I have face up cannot be destroyed or banished. And Ice Jade Ymir is just very, very, very good. So it just depends on which route you want to go. If you want to just banish the graveyards and don't let your opponent reoccur, or if you just want to make sure that your cards cannot be destroyed at all. So I think those 2 level 10s are going to start seeing a lot of play in this format. So for side deck, 1 Harpy's Feather, 3 anti-spell. This card is just still insane, especially with Labyrinth around, especially with a lot of decks that just have spells and traps. They think they're going to get even lead, and they can't. I played Labyrinth today, and then that was kind of just what happened. My opponent thought I was going to evenly hit him. He said start a battle. I said we'll start a battle, anti-spell, anti-magic arrows, and then that was it. 3D barrier, because this is just very, very, very good. 2 solemn, 2 cosmics. So kind of just standard. Everyone's playing darks and or just some type of fusion or synchro, besides the links. So, and then your solemns and your cosmics. What takes care of the links besides the D-Bearers, Spellbound? This card is very, very, very good. It's going to be slept on. A lot of people are going to wonder why, like Spellbound, but obviously this is your response to the links. If you have D-Bearer, that's great. They can't summon whatever it is on the board. They can't summon or they're banished, and Ice Jade Ymir is just very, very, very good. So it just depends on which route you want to go. If you want to just banish the graveyards and don't let your opponent reoccur, or if you just want to make sure that your cards cannot be destroyed at all. So I think those 2 level 10s are going to start seeing a lot of play in this format. So for side deck, 1 Harpy's Feather, 3 anti-spell. This card is just still insane, especially with Labyrinth around, especially with a lot of decks that just have spells and traps. They think they're going to get even lead, and they can't. I played Labyrinth today, and then that was kind of just what happened. My opponent thought I was going to evenly hit him. He said start a battle. I said we'll start a battle, anti-spell, magic arrows, and then that was it. 3D barrier, because this is just very, very, very good. 2 solemn, 2 cosmics. So kind of just standard. Everyone's playing darks and or just some type of fusion or synchro, besides the links. So, and then your solemns and your cosmics. What takes care of the links besides the D-Bearers, Spellbound? This card is very, very, very good. It's going to be slept on. A lot of people are going to wonder why, like Spellbound, but obviously this is your response to the links. If you have D-Bearer, that's great. They can't summon whatever it is on the board. They can't summon. But I watched the YCS a lot, and a lot of times, especially the fire players, would leave like monsters on board to try to get like to different plays or bigger avenues to allow their like effects to resolve or to keep going into the game to either get Appaloosa or Princess or like something different. So this right here just completely stops them. And if you have the Spellbound on board and Spellbound them at the correct time, then the rest of your cards are going to resolve. If you can interact correctly with the game, then you're doing well. And then right here will just be Gamma. I think Gamma is just insane as well, this format. The only thing I would kind of put into the side deck is Crossout. But I think Gamma is very, very good as well. It's always been good. Kind of just Gamma Seals are just slept on. Kaiju's just slept on in general. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we'll see how the format goes. YCS Indies around the corner, so my list will probably definitely be changed, and then by the time Nats comes, it'll probably be changed again, just depending on how the format changes or develops. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. Take care, and peace.